And it's because I was frustrated. I was frustrated because I was trying to because I didn't realize this thing I just told you yet. Basically, I didn't understand that the conversation she was having was purposed for another reason. It was to make everybody feel as though they were heard and understood. It wasn't to move forward with the. It wasn't to work with ideas to process through reasons for stuff and such like that. It was to make sure that everyone felt heard and understood, and that is the most spectacular shirt I've ever seen in my life, Courtney.
Don't you think that's cute? I
It's
cut
a
the sleeves off to make it more comfy.
I love the individuation of that. That is, you have now the only one such shirt with the sleeves cut off, as far as I can tell.
Hey, what's the room ID slash raw
Slash
room?
raw room. Yeah, and that'll be the room ID from now on, but it'll still work from the GTM link once I get that shit back up and running. I gotta talk to Tiffany. They know, but we haven't. They're not. The time frame hasn't happened yet. Soon, hopefully.
Oh, you don't have to apologize to me, Eric. I learned from you.
But I was a dick last night. I'm sorry. I was a dick to you in particular. I'm not apologizing to the other individuals involved in this at all. I'm apologizing to you because I went over the line with you, and I'm sorry.
I don't feel like you are looking, but I accept your apology.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to get on the the raw channel, and I'm gonna leave a link into here.
Okay,
So I don't think
that's cool
everyone knows.
and great, and I appreciate it. But be aware that currently this is not publishing automatically onto the raw channel. That's what has to be fixed. I'm recording it manually here instead. So just
Okay.
FYI. Okay. So yeah, that's where I went over the line. I fucking busted Courtney's chops too badly. There's no reason for me to be doing that. I shouldn't be doing that shit. And that's all it is. It's like, you shouldn't be doing that shit, Eric. Courtney doesn't deserve that. And when I do it anyway because I'm frustrated at mostly somebody else, then I get mad at myself. And I feel guilty and I apologize. I've had to, as an extroverted intuitor, that's amazing. Mega Bro, did you just draw that right now? I said a beach ball and you just drew one? Is that what you visualized in your head? Beach ball and that? Like that? That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Beach balls on demand. So, what was I saying? Oh, right. But then the reason it has everything to do with the intention of the other party. So if the other party is intending well, and I'm being frustrated by them not understanding things the same way I'm understanding them, then that's my bad. But if the other party is intending ill, intending dishonestly, intending to misrepresent themselves or what they're saying or what they mean, because they're being spiteful, then that's not cool. And that I have no reason to feel anything bad about hammering that shit because it's not cool. That's it.
Mm. So in my situations, they were more me misreading, let's say, the effect of what I did or how other people might feel about them. So kind of just not thinking it through enough, maybe. Um,
But why is it
yeah.
that the impacts of your behavior ultimately are the thing that determine whether or not you have made the right decision?
Yeah, I mean, I think that how I acted wasn't wrong, but I guess it's just waking me up to realize that other people might see them as wrong, or that other people might be hurt by them. And I shouldn't always take for granted that, me joking around is me joking around.
Yeah. It's true that there's a general precautionary principle I think ought to be applied. Like, be careful, Eric, because you you aren't there for most of the reactions to everything you say and do. To the extent that you have
Mm.
a voice that's heard more by other people than you hear the number of other people's voices you hear, right? Like, so I hear a lot fewer voices than people who hear my voice. And the people their own voices I don't hear, who hear my voice, they have their own reactions to it that I have no interaction with at all. Could be positive, could be negative, could be anything in between. if I'm throwing out a lot of fucking Piao into the world, directed generally at like, don't be like this, don't be like that, I run the risk of making people feel bad about themselves, and I go afoul of my core mission statement, which is there's nothing wrong with you. So it's a tricky
You also have more authority as well.
I have moral authority.
Yeah, in the sense of because people do listen to you more than they speak generally. You're in a position of people respect you and stuff like that. So what you say carries some weight in that way.
That's a tricky one for me to get used to in general. The idea that people afford what I'm saying more legitimacy for reasons other than what I'm saying. But I understand it. I appreciate it. I appreciate being afforded that legitimacy. I get the fact that you don't accomplish anything in life without others affording you some legitimacy. Unless you're, like, I don't know, invent something super cool or whatever.
I remember last time we spoke on audio, which was like a week or two back or something like that. You said something like that you used to have a podcast that was pretty popular.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah, like
It was called
pretty
Box
popular.
Market. Yeah, it was
What does pretty popular mean? What's it called?
we get like 500 downloads an episode probably. It was, I mean, like that's what I don't know if that's pretty popular or not, but I'm just saying it was better than I thought it was at the time. Like if I had my awareness that I have now and it was back then, I would think, oh, this is building into something. I had no patience. I expected everything to just like blow up instantly. But we did end up making 80 some episodes of it, and it was in conjunction with a bunch of other stuff I was got going on at the time, which was Pop Goes Lethal, which was like it was like this basically, except it was me and Corey and I made this big. If you go to like the Internet Wayback Machine, you go to www.popgoeslethal.com, you can get a sense of the insanity that was Pop Goes Lethal. There's plenty of shit up there that I wouldn't want to necessarily be seeing exactly, but I don't care because it's kind of hard to find. It's such a mess. Basically, it was, let's make a website where every time you put a new piece of information up, you build concurrently a new organizational structure for the whole website. So it's got like these endless series of different site maps and taxonomies and organizing shit in different ways and different pictures and it's got, sometimes you'll have a link path that'll follow just like one blah 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 blah, and sometimes it'll take you back to someplace you started from, sometimes some other place you've never been before. It's like you never know where you're gonna go on that website because it was organized with nothing. There was no GE. It was just all let's just fuck around, see what happens.
And people uploaded shit? It was all you?
It was all me. The whole thing was me. I had no concept of even like building a community or anything. I was building an amphetamine-fueled art palace of strange and macabre nature. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But I mean, it's funny how much fun you can have sitting in front of your computer.
And what was, with your podcast, what were you trying to do with it? Was it just interviewing people? Did it have themes?
Podcast, we people would ask us to review their podcasts, and we'd take clips from their podcasts and review and tell them what they were doing wrong or right about the podcast. We'd give it a ranking, and Corey would say his shit, and he'd go like 3 stars. I go 3.5 at the end. Of each one, we try to do like 3 of them per episode, 3 different podcasts per episode. At first, and then again later, and the best approach was to do. It took about 12 minutes to do a good job, decent job of 3 different podcasts with the little bumpers and shit. I had a little it was kind of organized pretty well actually. The layout of each episode was organized pretty well.
I agree with what the son says, the NTP INTJ combo. I don't know about you, but I've got a few INTJ friends that I'm close with, and they go along with our shit, if you know what I mean. Like, we start talking absolute trash, which still has like logical connections, and they follow it, and they kind of get deeper into it and kind of roll with it.
Yeah, well, I love
It's a
talking
good-
with Mega Bro. Thing about INTJs though, they are. The idea of having an INTJ co-host is odd because it would be a co-host who would stop in every 2 weeks, say 5 sentences, and then come back again in a couple of weeks. And the 5 sentences would carry 2 weeks worth of weight. Fine, that'd be great. They would have 2 weeks worth of info in them. But I have to basically spend 2 weeks just fleshing out the co-host's 5 sentences, and then he comes back to add some more. It wasn't even active enough to be a co-host. It doesn't exist. The thing you're asking for.
I don't know that, but have you seen that kind of flow?
No,
Oops, I was talking.
the Miss Butlers, Jamie Heineman.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Basically what you just said.
Yeah.
That's true. But I think INTJs can kind of talk heaps, and when especially there's an ENTP around and they get in this kind of flow or something. I think there is some sort of flow that happens. It's good. It's fun.
Flow is fun.
And like
Flow
I
is
feel
the
like
way
a lot
of
of really clever, funny stuff gets said in that kind of phase.
I do too. I like it. It's a challenging world to accustom oneself to existing in because in order to do it well, you have to take down the gates that normally stop you from making mistakes. And so you have to learn this very cautious and tricky balance of riding the bucking horse of NE while avoiding that cactus and that cliff side and that pitfall hole, because you're letting yourself go is the point. You're not holding back.
Mm-hmm.
You're just freestyling.
Yeah.
And then
Freestyle.
that means you don't have it's like a windy road. You're going fast. You don't really know what's around that corner there. So you might end up crashing into something. That's the
You've
tricky
got to
thing.
be unrestricted, unstifled. But I guess it could come in with the editing after, right? Like if there's something that really is just pure stupidity, like doesn't make sense to anyone, you could edit it after, I suppose.
Editing's great, and you're absolutely right about that. That editing can solve all problems. However, that's another thing that's tricky to balance because I can extrovertedly intuit forever, and I can edit a lot, but freaking it's the time thing. I always have to try to balance level of polish versus getting shit done. I tend to err on the side of getting shit done, but sometimes I'll
good.
put more polish into it. And when I do, it'll usually come out better. And then I'm left again to think, well, does that mean I should put more polish into everything? I ought not. It doesn't seem to play out like that. It's just, you kind of got to go with your extroverted intuition for me and just say, well, now I feel like doing this, so that's what I should do. It's trusting your hedonism, basically.
Mhm. Yeah, I sometimes err on the side of polish too much or wanting to be some sort of perfect, manifestation of my talents, and so I just won't do things. So,
Well, I've heard before, and think it might be true about INTPs, that they tend to consider a project they're engaging in of some sort that it be one of a set of memories going forward that they're going to refer back to. Now, they don't want to have to refer back to this piece of shit, so they're setting it up so that when they look back at it later, that it's clean and it looks nice in their memory. And they've had their identity sculpted around these sort of like project whole things, and they want each one to be perfect. So they look back at their life, and it's like, is that you?
interesting. Maybe, but I don't think I'm an INTP. Like,
I know.
I'm pretty. Why not?
I know you don't think you're one, but I was just
Yeah.
I'm still inclined leaning towards that. So I want to hear. I want you to convince me or not.
Well, I adore being the center of a party. You know, I adore kind of being with people and talking with different people and kind of connecting on their level. You know, I get energized from that. I'm definitely about the idea generation rather than like, okay, I've got some really logical frameworks and I studied physics, I studied law, but the frameworks are kind of, I'm trying to acquire more frameworks, you know what I mean? I want as many as I can have. I love
Good,
this
good aspiration
Jungian
right there. Let me grab a cup of coffee real quick.
Yeah, maybe. It's just me. And I think I am pretty calm, you know, pretty calm, and I think the TI